happening, people? It's Kanza here, and today I'm going to be doing a how to fight video on Lancelot. So without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, cool. So this video is just going to be the very basics, so this character can be quite difficult to deal with. It's going to follow the same pattern as the other videos, the abilities of what the character has, and also the skybound art and supers and what to do to punish them. So first of all, we're going to talk about his fireball. Now, I really don't like fighting Lancelot because his fireball is very annoying to deal with, right? So his fireball, okay, it's like a regular fireball. It trades, same with his medium, okay, which is a bit slower, but it still trades, okay. Now the problem is his EX fireball. This 3 hits, even if I use an EX, okay, it doesn't cancel each other out, right? So what I mean by this is if I have, let's say, here's a good example. Gran. Let's say I'm fighting Gran and we both throw out EX fireballs, okay? What will typically happen is that, what will typically happen is that they'll cancel each other out like that, right? As you saw with Lancelot, for some reason that doesn't happen. With his EX, the first section of it hits, but then the rest of it, see, the second bit of it just goes through for some reason, right? I'm not sure why that's a thing, but it is. So one thing to watch out for with Lancelot is that his EX fireball will always, if you throw an EX at it, the first hit will clash, and then the rest of it they'll both go for each other, okay? So that's something to watch out for. So in general, what I'd suggest is if you know he's gonna go for it, try your best to just like spot dodge it, jump over it, or just go evade through it, right? Like that. Now the problem with this is that Lancelot, he's very mobile, right? Like that, he can jump all over the place, do all these Naruto stuff, right? So what you'll typically see is your Lancelot player may do, Lancelot player will throw this out and then go in for you, right? So when you've jumped, that's typically what might happen. So you just want to be very like aware of where you are on the screen, what your options are, when to press certain things and when not to. So just be very careful. As I said, try and evade, just jump, neutral jump, block, evade, and all of that stuff, just the fundamentals. You can throw an EX at it, but just be prepared that it won't cancel each other out. The next thing I want to talk about is his Rekkas, which is this, right? So the first Rekka, like that, it's actually supposed to be your turn, but he's not punishable for it. So I'll show you now. See, no punish. So he's only like -2, I believe. But what you'll tend to see is that online, a lot of Lancelot players will know how to like space themselves quite carefully, so that even if you do go for a jab, because you're on tip range, especially in the corner, they can just bully you with certain normals into Rekkas again, so you can't actually press. So just kind of do your best not to let him just maul you, keep him out. Do your best to like get as many hard knockdowns as you can during the match, and just be very careful of like what his options are, and just know when it's your turn to block and all sorts, right? Because even there, it's my turn, but you will still tend to find that you will get counter hitted or hit by him, right? And that's the same for the EX as well. So just be very careful of like corner situations that Lancelot players will set up. So here's an example. Sweet. Ooh. So let's say I'm in the corner. Let's go back. So you'll typically see this, like something like that, right? So what people might do, they might panic and just jump up, and then you might get crossed up, or the Lancelot player might just do an empty jump into a low. You might get crossed up like that. So just be very careful. What you could do, if your character has an EX DP, I don't really like telling people to DP, but if your character has an EX DP, what I'd suggest is when you see him coming in with the jump, You can kind of EX the DP, but if he does just block, then it's pretty much GG. But you might just have to block the mix up. Just literally just hold R2, so you don't have to worry about him crossing you up or whatever. The only thing you have to worry about is if he's hit you low, which you'll typically see them do this into Rekkas, or they'll just empty jump off the wall to kind of like confuse you, go for grab loops and all that. So just be careful of if he's going low or like high, and also just block and try your best. Don't always take the throw, because if they do overhead, you're going to eat big damage. So just be very careful of that. Now the next thing I want to talk about is his teleport, right? Where he can do follow-ups like this, overhead. So you just want to be a bit careful of like when you see him doing certain things like that. So if you can react to it, you can get a counter or just a regular anti-air, right? So just be very careful of like where your spacing are and like when he's gonna do it, because the EX version is invincible. So no matter what you press on wake up, so let me set this for you. So counter attack settings, right, here we go. So wake up, is it blade impulse, high jumping? So that's this fireball, blade impulse, southern cross. Here we go. All right, here we go, knockdown. So no matter what you press in these situations, he will still be able to get up and do these things to you. So I'm not sure why is this southern cross? Ah, turbulence, this thing. Here we go. Is it this? Should be this. There you go. So here we go. Hard knockdown. I pressed. Invincible. So there's nothing you can do, right? Say, let's even say I super, right? Invincible. So you literally just have to kind of like, if you know the cooldown's gone, then by all means rush him down. But if it's there, just be careful, especially in the corner. So what you could do is this. Oops. So knock down. Wait for it. Air grab him back down. So now he has to wait, and he has to actually hold the mix up with whatever you want to do to him in the corner. So just be wary of that. The next thing I want to talk about is this, right? So it's kind of the same. It's just loads and loads of Rekkas, right? So there we go. Ooh, sorry, my bad. Let me record that again. Cool. Okay, so after that, it's your turn. Punish. So that's punishable. But you will rarely see a Lancelot player do something like that in your face, okay? So, but that's just for common knowledge. If you're in the corner, let's say they drop their confirm and just throw that out, then you can punish them. Now finally, the last thing I want to talk about is his supers. So similar to the others that I've talked about, they can use these supers to kind of like go through fireballs and just, I just saw, punish you for that. So you'll typically see a Lancelot player, when they have super, they'll probably stay at mid-range, hoping you'll throw out a fireball if you're playing like Catalina, Gran, Percy, Zeta, and so on, right? So you just want to like generally block it, then punish him. You can try and spot dodge like that, or invade like this, and then try and get your punish afterwards. So it's just those things to keep in mind. And his Skybound art, which is very annoying, which is this move here. You actually can't punish this. Even if you block it, he's safe. I'll do a light as well, he's safe. So your only option with this, to punish this, is to just anti-air him, right? You have to just straight up anti-air him, because otherwise you're gonna get clapped. Okay? Gets really fast, so literally if you can just DP, then that's your best option. I would highly suggest EX DP because it's invincible. What you'll typically see as well is that Lancelot player, especially if they're in a corner and they don't want to have to hold your mix up. Let's say you did the thing where, as I said, you got rid of their teleport. So this might be an example. Let's see. Okay, here we go. So knockdown. Knockdown. Oh, so okay. Didn't work as planned, but let's say, here we go. Right, so counter attack settings. let's say, yeah, get to play action 2. So there you go. Okay. Oops. Here we go. Okay, knocked him down. Tries to get a hit in, and then I can get punished for that. So you'll see as he's in the corner, even if let's say I block that, he ends up outside the corner. So that's just something to keep in mind, and just always be ready and know like when a Lancelot player is going to use their super, and the only way to punish the Skybound Dart is the DP. Cool. So I hope this video has helped anyone. It's a bit more tricky talking about Lancelot, but in general, if you want to block his mix-ups and stuff, what really shuts this character down is that there's a block button in the game, so he can't really do right to left cross-ups and all of that stuff if you just hold R2 or whichever system you're playing on, just hold the block button. Tech throws, not all the time, depending on where you are as well. And just look out for when he does his teleports, air jump him, and try your best to kind of like take your turn back when he's using Rekkas, and just watch out for his EX Fireball. But I hope this helped anyone. If it has, don't forget to push your comments down below, like and subscribe, all of that stuff. But yeah, I'm out.